I think this trip really changed how I view like the vast number of things that community work can include. A lot of times it can trigger thoughts of like volunteerism or like physical acts of helping a community, whether that be like promoting like a shared space or a club or something, helping in like a physical manner, when in reality it can include care work and meeting needs of like emotional and like mental capacity. I thought that was really eye-opening on this trip.
Well, when we went down there, there was this overlying pattern of sense of community and sense of people coming together to solve issues, that because they don't have a strong supportive government, it's more of these people have to take initiative and responsibility to all give a helping hand to fight for this, fight for that, do this, do that. So it's like all these people come together and they tackle a problem and tackle an issue. So I did see that a lot, and I saw that with like a lot of things that played out, whether it was the hurricanes, the earthquakes, whether it was the whole political movement over there. It was just everybody coming together and choosing to solve these issues.
So for me, it kind of reinforced it, seeing the impact, getting to know the needs, working to get results. I truly love the outcome when the practice is done with purpose and in synchronia with the people. We'll say there is much to be done. Like I already knew, most of the work and helps are given and being concentrated here in the metropolitan area where I live. Most of the time, a bunch of the communities are left out, and that needs to change. So for this project, we did the impact on like for you guys, it would be like a state. Here we call it municipio. So being outside of the metropolitan area give me like a grasp of how we need to impact outside from this area.
What really did like impact me was how the community is so different from ours, and how even if it's a U.S. territory, like it's very distinct from Michigan to Puerto Rico, and the people, of course, like their whole vibe was really different from people over here. Like they want what's best for everyone. I really thought that was a really nice thing about their community, and that they're all in it together. They're very determined, and I really like admire that.
It was very motivating to see how grassroots organizers and activists have the power to enact changes in their own communities. Whether it was environmentalists or educators or artists, everyone really took matters into their own hands. And this program really showed me that I also have the power to take responsibility and take action in my own community.
I feel like the school we went to, it really impacted me. You know, it kind of really hit me how like, you know, like we have over here, I drive, and how people have to walk like miles just to go to school, and that like really like changed the way I look at things. I feel like a lot of kids here take advantage of their education. It really caught my eye on how like people here have like all the chances just to go to college and everything, and how over there like it's, if you really want it, you have to get it. You know, it's not given to you.
One of the greatest, like the coolest things that happened while I was there is talking with other kids my age, talking to those high schoolers, seeing that despite us being thousands of miles separated from each other, right? Still growing up in a Latin like community for me here, like with my parents, and then seeing them, and so kind of what's happening is that despite us being so far from each other, we still face and encounter some of the same things.
I I don't consider myself privileged, but in comparison to others, I am. Starting with the geographical space in which I live, that makes it accessible for me to go to the best university here in Puerto Rico, that is La Universidad de Puerto Rico de Rio Piedras, at least for me it is.
It made me appreciate more the things that I have here. It was really like a moment of like wake up, you know.
It did teach me how like sometimes you have to value the things you have. When we were in a juntas, taught me that you're not always gonna have warm water. You're not always gonna have electricity. You have to be grateful of the stuff you have in life.
This trip challenged me and the ways I'm privileged, and just the things that I take for granted in everyday life. You know, we started the morning off when we went to the high school by walking up quite a ways up the mountain just to get there, and most of the kids do that every day that they go to school. They have to walk a long ways up a mountain, whether, you know, it's pouring rain or scorching hot out. And I just realized how lucky I was to ride in like an old smelly bus every day to high school when I went, you know. And on top of that, like just at night when we were together in the apartments, you know, we had this opportunity to live together and to know that we were safe, and we had doors that locked, and we had running water and everything. And you know, that's just not something that everyone on the island had after like the hurricane hit and their houses were devastated. And like their government doesn't really help with that, and we're blessed on the mainland to have a government that is kind of obligated to send in aid when certain things like that happen. I think that's something that really needs to be reevaluated between the partnership of the U.S. and the Commonwealth that is Puerto Rico.
Learning about the long history of head wrapping and how over time it has evolved to be celebrated as an expression of style and identity was really interesting. And as we learned how to tie the head wraps, our group had a platform to share stories and experiences about racism, which was really moving and definitely a very important dialogue to have.
The conversation with the women who led like the head wrapping seminar was really important to me, just because everyone was really serious in this situation because they knew it was important. And whenever anyone had the floor, they had, you know, complete respect in the situation, and what they were sharing was made safe, and they were, you know, kind of just given this attention and this love and this like really vulnerable time to just share with the group about any experience they've had personally or witnessing how racism has affected them or the people they love. And I just really appreciated that.
It's not a conversation that people generally have, and so I think that's why I felt so tense and so strong. But I think it was very constructive for us to talk about it, because, you know, we go through our day-to-day lives really without, I mean, we might think about it, but we may not talk about it and really reflect upon this with other people. But then when everyone was sharing their personal anecdotes, and we were all just sharing about this, like, you know, what was it, 3 questions I think we had? So we're breaking down these questions, and we're asking like why and stuff like that, and giving personal experience. It was strong. It was powerful, I would say. You know, whoever was speaking at the time had the floor, because we all knew the seriousness of the conversation, and it was a conversation that needed to be had.
I feel like it's something that's not really talked about as much nowadays, but it's still really out there, and it's always good to know that there's always people that are like still fighting for it, and it's because it's really not over. As hard as it is for us to see and take in, it's not over with, and you know, it's good of us to like come as a community to help and change the world.
when we're in San Juan, the paintings, the murals, it was so like, whether you're part of like an actual organization or whether you're just like some kid that's 19 just painting the wall, right? So it's like, it's so sweet seeing different people use different mediums to express their creativity and their messages.
Actually, that's one of the things I really enjoyed. Just like driving around and seeing arts and murals all over the place. It actually like it made me want to do a mural, but I've never like really had the time to do it.
All their murals were pretty, like really pretty. You don't see that here. To me, it's very colorful. It makes the community colorful. It makes the community more connected. I feel like connection through art is very powerful.
As we toured the island and saw all of the incredible murals, it was really amazing to see how art has the potential to spark conversations about issues that are really important to the community. The murals didn't just beautify neighborhoods, but they really bring narratives and histories of Puerto Rican communities to life.
I thought since we were high school kids, the undergrads and the grad students were gonna see us as like these little kids and everything, and I feel like that week was a long week, and I feel like we left with really great bonds.
Every day was kind of a new experience, and in each I got to learn more about the people I was spending time with, getting to know the places we went to, and also getting to get outside and breaking the cocoon of self-thought that I get into. So that was pretty cool.
I think being free, independent, I usually go with my family, and this time it was by myself with a group of friends and peers, and I think overall the whole thing was really interesting and really fun to be a part of.
I think my favorite part of this trip was being able to build relationships with such a broad spectrum of ages and backgrounds of people. I learned something from everybody on the trip that I got to interact with.
It was really, really, not only was it fun, it was eye-opening. It teaches you a little bit about yourself, despite it only being a week. It was a week away from home. It was a week in a completely different environment. So that did have some profound impact on me. And definitely gave me some little more motivation. Just open your eyes a little bit more and see that there is more out here than just Lansing, Michigan, and that there are so many great things happening as well. And that why wouldn't you want to see these things, and why wouldn't you want to be a part of it?